What's missing these days aren't leaders, but world leaders. Those inspirational types who speak the truth, not platitudes, and look like they could strangle you with a loose chest hair. But maybe that's changing. Here's Jordan's King Abdullah on something called CNN. It's all on cable, I believe, discussing the response to ISIS. I wonder if it has to be unified.
This has to be unified. I mean, I've said this to leaders both in the Islamic and Arab world and to the world in general. This is a third world war by other means. This brings Muslims, Christians, other religions together in this generational fight that all of us have to be this together. So it's not a Western fight. This is a fight inside of Islam where everybody comes together against these outlaws, so to speak, together. And there's a short-term part of this, which is the military part of the issue. There is the medium part, which is the security element of it, and then there's a long-term element of this, which is obviously the ideological one.
So the king correctly identified the fight. It's within Islam. It's not Bibi, bigotry, or Boehner. It's barbarians, Barack. This must be heard because the world needs a Muslim voice to echo the sober and somber facts. The king may finally be the canary among the caliphate, the alarm that tolls a true warning. It's refreshing as our own leader seems more preoccupied with past sins than our present realities. The world wars won by American vets who are now in their 80s and 90s have allowed men much younger and less courageous to smear our republic, undermining traditions that worked and allies that actually mattered. Our ocean privilege, coupled with a society immersed in a leisure-driven coma, makes defending our exceptionalism against evil so old. It's something your grandpop enjoyed, like Werther originals. This lucky complacency found in our media, our government, and our campus has blossomed into a potent disdain for America's good. Jordan, however, doesn't have the luxury of hating themselves. They have plenty of enemies around them to do that for them. But so do we. We just haven't admitted it yet. It's time we do. So, KG, what do you make of King Jordan and saying it's basically World War III? Is he accurate? Is he exaggerating?
Long live the king.
Oh, wow.
I like his rhetoric. He's well spoken.
I'm not surprised.
And yeah, I think that he has a very good and clear understanding of it. This is not a man who is afraid of semantics. He is not afraid to call it what it is. It isn't just violent extremism. He knows that this is a problem within the faith and religion of Islam. He is calling to arms the rest of the people in the world, Muslims that are law-abiding, that want to put an end to this. I hope they answer the call, because this is someone who has emerged because the United States has left a leadership vacuum here. Thank God that he has stepped up, because he's actually changed the momentum and changed the tenor and the rhetoric of the situation.
All right, Julie, I predict your answer was the vacuum was necessary for people like the King of Jordan to step in.
Have you been reading my diary?
Yes,
what's going on here? No, look, I think the most interesting thing that he did this interview with Fareed Zakaria, as you said, of CNN, and what was most interesting about this interview to me is that he said this is a problem within Islam. Therefore, for Barack Obama, who, despite what people believe, is not Muslim, for him to come in, I know, I'm disappointing a lot of viewers today, but he's not.
That's not what you said in your diary.
That's my diary. You've been reading my diary?
I broke the law.
So he, for him to step in, for the American president to step in and to dictate what should happen within Islam, the King of Jordan is the perfect messenger for this. Sisi of Egypt, who's threatened by this, is the perfect messenger for this. As Kimberly, you're so dead on. The people that need to do this are the moderate, or, to the extent there are any moderates in the region, the people out there who need to be doing this are the moderates to go and say, listen, this is a perversion of Islam. This is not what we stand for. We're not the people to do that.
Yeah, but they've beheaded Americans as well. This is a huge problem. We cannot turn and put on our blindfold and play little eyes wide shut games here.
Stop saying we've been bombing the hell out of it. That's the problem. We bombed the hell out of Iraq when we wanted to. We were dropping 2,500 per day on Iraq when we wanted to. We've done 2,500 in more than 6 months now in Syria and in Iraq with ISIS. 25 total in 6 months versus 2,500 per day in Iraq. Look, King Jordan said something very important. He said, we're small. We don't have the luxury to play around. We get punched, we punch back up, even if he's bigger than us. Egypt did the same thing. For some reason, they think ISIS is bigger than Jordan in Egypt. Fine, whatever. ISIS is the bully to them. We're bigger than the bully, and for some reason, we get punched in the face. We go, okay, well, that didn't really hurt so much.
Turn the other cheek.
We'll turn the other cheek until What are we waiting for? Until something really, really bad? Until 3,000 more people die on our soil? And then are we going to step up and do a real bomb the hell out of them? That might work. Bombing the hell out of them might actually work.
So are you advocating
are
you advocating actually going to war in Syria and Iraq right now? Is that what you're suggesting?
We are at war.
No, but are you advocating putting boots on the ground?
I'm advocating bombing the hell out of them. Your words. Bombing the hell out of them. I would like Arab boots on the ground in the region. Yes, bomb the hell out of them from everywhere.
And have the Arabs put boots on the ground in the region.
Yeah.
Fine. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, but you said we're bombing the hell out of them. It's
we are. I disagree with you that we aren't.
Dana, I think you were one of the first people to say we're at World War maybe months ago.
Well, I did, actually. No, well, I was waiting to just describe like what we are in. You know, sometimes the history then looks back on a period and says, oh, actually you can see the seeds of this world war coming, and I think that we are in the beginning of it. But the other thing that we are not doing enough talking about or supporting, and he needs more of our help, is there are 1 million Syrian and Iraqi refugees, 1 million, in the tiny country of Jordan that he is trying to take care of. Right. And so it's a potentially volatile situation. It's also a horrendous human rights situation. And the question I think that nobody is really pressing the administration on is, what is our policy on Bashar Assad right now?
Yeah.
Because
evolving.
Is that evolving? What is the policy? Because can you bomb the heck out of them or not?
Yeah.
Because now do we need Bashar Assad to help us against ISIS?
Because, you know what, I mean, we have this, it's a sobering education that tyrants are not as bad as radical Islam. Is that what it is? You need to have a lion tamer who's as brutal as brutal.
Here's the problem. We had Saddam Hussein, who was a miserable, not enough horrible things to say about it. The worst of the worst, however, he kept Iran destabilized because they were fighting with each other, and therefore they kept each other destabilized. Mubarak was no prize.
Poor
Mubarak, right. But I mean, Hosni was no prize, but it was horrible to his own people. But nevertheless, a lot of his own people. But nevertheless, he was not bad towards the Israelis. He was good with us.
Kept the region stable.
I mean, Assad is a same thing, horrible human being, but
horrible. There's 250,000 people. I mean, have been killed. By the hands of their leader.
But that's the problem. Do you want regime change?
Here's what we have to do. We have to use him, obviously, and then we kill him.
But this all goes back. To the
story of your relationship.
I mean, this is what you do. I
Dana's going to hit on the right point right here.
It all goes back to the red line and not.